Hello,
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. And you?
I'm good, thank you. My name is John. What is your name?
I'm Sultan from Pakistan, but I live in Saudi Arabia.
Okay. Sultan from Sudan, you said?
From Pakistan.
Pakistan. Okay, but you're living in Saudi Arabia. Okay.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
why did you move to Saudi Arabia?
I got a job here, so I moved to Saudi Arabia.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Okay. And what is your job?
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach English in an international school
Mm,
to four, fourth graders.
mm. Okay. Uh, and is so that would be a good job in Saudi Arabia, I would think.
Yes, it is.
Um, okay. And um, how long have you been there in Saudi Arabia?
Uh, I've been here for 2 years now.
You've been there for 2 years.
Yeah.
Uh, very well then. And do you enjoy? Do you like it in Saudi Arabia?
Yes, I do.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's pretty much a relaxed lifestyle, so I enjoy living over here. What about you? Where are you from? What do you do?
I teach English. Well, at the moment, I'm just teaching online, but I was teaching English in schools, and I've taught in various countries. Um, so I've taught in countries like I've taught in Thailand for a while, and then I taught in Colombia for a while as well.
Great, great. So, how long have you been a teacher?
How long have I been a teacher?
Mhm.
I have been a teacher since 2016.
Ah, I see.
Um,
Great, great. So, where are you now?
so right now I'm in Africa, in Kenya right now. Hmm.
How long have you been in Kenya?
Only 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
Yes, so not that long.
Ah, I see.
Uh,
So, why did you move to Kenya?
um, so I moved to Kenya I have friends here, so I've been traveling around a lot,
Hmm.
um, and I decided to move to Kenya to come and see my friends that live here. Um,
Okay.
but I'm not. This is not going to be a permanent move. This is probably just going to be for a few months. So I want to, see some things. Like I've always wanted to go to travel to Africa. So I'll go.
Hmm.
I'll go do a safari. I'll go see, some of the local animals and maybe a couple of cities, and then
Hmm.
um, I don't know. I don't know if I will come back to Africa. It's it's like it's interesting, but it's not so interesting that I want to live here permanently. Have you been to any other countries other than Saudi Arabia?
No, this is the first time I
Mhm.
am in Saudi Arabia. Before that, I had never been to any countries.
Okay, and how are you finding it?
Yeah, it's cool. As I said, that the lifestyle over here is pretty much relaxed. It's different
Mhm.
from my own country. It's more like convenient to live over here because it's peaceful
Mhm.
and it also feels like home
Okay,
because of
so
the weather, I believe.
mhm.
Mm.
So the weather makes it makes you feel more at home.
Yeah, and moreover, both countries are like Muslim countries,
Yes.
so there are a lot of similarities. Then, other than this, we have Pakistani community over here. You will find a lot of
Mhm.
people from Pakistan. So,
Yeah, and so as you said, they're both Muslim countries. So are they very similar?
well, not very similar, but there are a lot of similarities. you can say, because we have the same rituals, same events.
Because one of the things I understand, like the strict rules about is like there you wouldn't be allowed to have alcohol, but what about Pakistan?
So for me as a Muslim, I don't think so. It's a strictness because even in Pakistan, it is not allowed to have alcohol openly. And I believe most of the Muslim countries have the same rule. So yes, but there are like communities and compounds where foreigners live. For them, it is totally allowed. They can have, but it's not allowed for Muslims.
Yes.
Yeah.
What about in Saudi Arabia? I don't even think it. Well, I don't know. I think it's changed, but originally you didn't used to be allowed for even for foreigners.
No. So if you talk about the population, more than 40% of the population is consisted of expatriates, foreigners.
In Saudi Arabia?
Yes, there are a lot of people from other countries, China, America, Japan, and the neighboring countries of Saudi Arabia. There are a lot of people from India, Bangladesh, Pakistan.
Okay, I'm just surprised at the 40% number.
Yeah, you can Google it.
Yeah, it's very high.
Yes, it is.
So yeah, it's a little bit surprising, but it's. What about from English-speaking countries? Like, is there a high number of people from places like USA and Australia?
Not high number of people are from there, but there are people, and most of the people from English-speaking countries are teachers here teaching English and are on managerial posts. They have good jobs. Yeah.
Okay.
But most of the people are from India. India is the first country, then Pakistan.
India, then Pakistan. Okay.
Yes.
It's curious that India, like, because Pakistan is more Muslim than India, so that's a little bit curious.
Yeah, but in India, there are more Muslim people than Pakistan.
I'm going to check the population of Pakistan. Yeah. So even if like 15% of India is Muslim, that would mean that there are more Muslims in India than there are people in Pakistan. So it's not a hard number to believe, because you said how much of Pakistan is Muslim, like 40% or?
No. I think more than that. Maybe 70 or 80%.
Yeah. So even if 70% if it's 70%, for example, and 10% of India is Muslim, it would probably still be more than Pakistan's, more Muslims in India than Pakistan.
Yes.
It would be interesting.
So how have you been doing with pandemic?
Well, at the start of the pandemic, I was in quarantine for 5 months.
Quarantine for 5 months?
Yes, so I was in Colombia at the time, and they had complete shutdown for 5 months. You could only go out to the supermarket. All the schools closed, all restaurants closed, everything kind of closed.
So how long have you been on Cambly?
How long have I been on Cambly? So I've been on Cambly for about a bit over a year now. I've been working on Cambly for a bit over a year.
It's a long time.
I enjoy my time on Cambly. Like I think it's it's a let's just say, it's a good experience, or it's a good work. So because I can travel anywhere. Well, for my last job, like earlier in this year, I was working in a school, and I was working part-time. And then they didn't want me to continue part-time. They wanted me full-time, which was going to be 10 hours a day, like 50 hours a week.
Oh.
and it was going to be a lower hourly rate than my previous part-time work. And I just told them no, because I have Cambly. I can just say, no, I don't like your deal.
I see. So let me ask you that is it a suitable alternative for a regular job?
I think it's a little bit, it depends. Like it's a little bit less stable than a regular job. So some weeks it'll be really quiet. Like when there is a festival, Muslim festival, particularly because most of the students are from Saudi Arabia and Turkey, the week will just be really quiet. And sometimes I've had my, earnings those weeks drop like half.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a little bit inconsistent, and you have to kind of plan for that inconsistency. So I don't think in that way it's really good a replacement for a regular job.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a good, if you want to do it like as extra work, it's really good.
Okay.
So I'm going to be doing just Cambly for a while, and then I'm planning to go back into a school probably in Colombia again. But because of Cambly, I have more time to look for a good school. I don't have to feel like I need to rush into taking the first offer that I'm given.
Great.
So that's. But once I'm doing that, I'll probably really cut back and maybe only do 10 or hours on Cambly a week or something like that, just to maintain my presence.
So in Kenya, there is a good salary for English teachers there.
In Kenya, I don't know. I'm not working in Kenya. I haven't. I don't know what the salary is, but I'm not really interested in working here. Like there's a lot of most of the people speak English, so I think they would be hiring more local teachers because most of the population speaks English. So I would expect the salary to be quite low. Even though I could probably get a job, the salary is probably quite low because, I can go communicate with English. Like the English isn't perfect, but it's high enough level, like it's B2 level for most of the population. So the demand for foreigners teaching English is kind of low. Yeah.
Okay.
So what about in Saudi Arabia? Like I think the salary would be quite high for English teachers.
Yeah, and especially for native English speakers, they get good salaries.
Yeah, I've considered going to other country or like to Saudi Arabia for working, but I'm not willing to. I haven't yet found a good opportunity there. Like I've looked sometimes, but I would have to find the right kind of opportunity to go there.
Yes.
But it might be an interesting prospect for in the future, depending on the salaries. But and it would allow me to more access to travel to Europe and vacation. So do you get a lot of vacation time in Saudi Arabia as a teacher?
Yes, so it's quite the same as in different countries. We have summer vacation, winter vacation. So in summer vacation, students have 4 months vacation.
That's very long.
Yeah, but not for teachers. They need to join the school like after 1.5 month.
But still, 1.5 months vacation is very nice.
Yeah.
And so in the rest of the time, what are you doing? Just planning for the next year or teaching or?
Yeah, so we have workshops, orientation, training programs, these kind of stuff.
And a lot of time I guess a lot of time in that time for planning for your next year of classes.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah. So I think 1.5 months in that case where you're completely free is kind of generous.
Yeah, it is. But I believe that it's quite normal in all the countries. We have 2 months summer break.
Right. Well, in most countries, there's 2 month summer break, but that's the time most teachers actually spend planning for their next year. So they only usually take 2 or 3 weeks off, and then they spend the
Ah,
rest of the time planning. They don't have
so
to be at the school, but they
okay.
don't get they don't get an assigned, this, like there's a 2 month break, but in that 2 month break, they have to have their vacation and plan for the next year. So it depends on how
Ah,
fast that teacher can plan for the next year, how much time they actually get as a vacation.
I see. I see. But I think that nowadays, since we have platforms like Cambly
Hmm.
and other, so I think it's more convenient to teach on such platforms than to face teaching and go to school and teach.
Yes, face to face. Yeah, yeah. I see. I might be looking for a job in Saudi Arabia
Hmm.
more promptly than I had planned, because there's been a huge disruption to the industry in China, and so I
Hmm.
expect a flood of teachers trying to. Well, Cambly is going to basically have to turn away thousands of teachers, because the whole online industry is basically shut down, and there was tens of thousands of teachers teaching into China. And now China is not allowing any foreign teachers to teach online
Oh,
to Chinese students,
really?
as of the beginning of August.
There will be no online teaching for Chinese students?
Not for foreign teachers. You have to be in China with a Chinese work permit to teach Chinese students now, even online.
Okay. But I
So,
think there are so many Chinese companies.
yep, and they all had to fire, like tens of thousands of teachers just got fired in the beginning of August.
And what is the reason for that?
Um, Not exactly sure, but
Mm-hmm.
there was a problem with one of the companies
Mm-hmm.
in and I'm not sure what was the problem. It was like how they were delivering the services to the students, or I'm not sure what the detail was, but
Mm-hmm.
there was a problem with one company, and they basically China shuts down the whole industry.
Oh, I see.
They crazy overreact. Um,
Ah, so
and
unfortunate. So you were teaching there before?
No, actually, I was lucky because I stopped last year
Mm-hmm.
teaching students in China. So because of the time zone at the time was very inconvenient for me. I was having to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to teach, and I was like, my first classes started at 5 o'clock. Sorry, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh no, I can't. I don't want to keep doing this. And so I
Mm-hmm.
quit and worked on Cambly, even though the hourly rate is a bit lower.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm glad I did now, because if I was still doing that, there was no warning. There was like 1 week notice, and
Oh.
suddenly, imagine 1 week and you're out of a job.
So I was just curious to ask you that in your perspective, what is
On
the
Cambly,
normal hourly rate
for
for
Cambly.
Cambly or any other platform?
So the given hourly rate, the stated hourly rate is about $10 an hour for Cambly, but that's
Mm-hmm.
based on, if you have a full schedule in front of students 100% of your working time, because they're
Mm-hmm.
not paid for when you're not working.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so if you're not fully booked with regular students, it can be a bit lower than that, as little as $5 an hour. Um,
Okay.
but so it's but other platforms from China used to be $15 to $20 an hour.
Oh, wow.
Um, but I think now with all of those closing down, like most of the companies are going to end up going bankrupt. So with
Hmm.
most of those closing down, what is left is $10 an hour or less,
Hmm.
and that is stated hourly net rate, not actual earnings. So it's going to be a huge change to the market.